Hello everyone. So, welcome back to our social class. Where were we yesterday? Page number 17, right? We are done up till land use. Today we will start the next topic, that is classification of land. Okay, so you know the process. I'll be reading it out. Follow me, and at the same time, in between whatever I'll be asking you to mark, please do the needful. Alright, so land can be classified on the basis of ownership, private land and community land. Private land is used and owned by a person or a group of people for personal use. Underline. What do you mean by private land? Community land is owned and used by the whole community, like parks, roads, forests, etc. This community land are also called common property resource. Okay, so the other name for community land. So basically there are two categories of land. Okay, two types of land you can say. One is private land, the other one is community. Private, your own, which belongs to you. You are the sole owner, personal owner, right? It can be an individual, it can be group of individuals. Community land, which is owned by the whole community, like any playground that is open for all. Okay, or or you can say the roads that we have. You cannot say this is my road or this is your road. We all use the road, right? And another name for community land is common property resource. Note down the name. Okay, instead of community land, you might get a question, define common property resources. You'll be like, what is this? Okay, changing pattern of land use. Land use has been changing over the years. Human population has been increasing at an alarming rate, and so have their demand on land. Agriculture, mining, deforestation, roads, industries and settlements are some of the changes made by humans to the land use. Scientists estimate that between 1/3 and 1/2 of our land, that land surface has been modified by human activities. Okay, there is some fact. Let me read that also, and then we'll come to the explanation. Due to the increased human demand for food, fresh water, timber, fiber and fuel, more land has been claimed for agriculture in the last 60 years than in the 18th and 19th centuries combined. Alright. The way how land is being used, changing pattern of land. Yes, as in the previous class, where is it? Page number 17. Page number 17, under the topic land use, you see second paragraph, last sentence. I have already asked you yesterday that land use depends on physical factor such as topography, climate, availability of water, soil and mineral, right? You remember yesterday? And I also told you that there is one more factor called human factor. You may get it later, or if not in some other chapters, but we got it. See, it's written out here. Now come back to today's topic. Land use has been changing over the years. Human population has been increasing at an alarming rate, and so have their demand on land. I hope you are aware that India is the second largest populated country in the world, and the government of our country and also the various state governments, they have been taking several measures. They are introducing several policies so that they can do something, because it is very much alarming if this because the land area is not increasing. The territory is fixed, but the number of people are increasing more, and the more the people, the more we pressurize the land. That's because you see, majority of our activity, it all takes place on land, be it an economic activity, be it your survival, houses, whatever it is. Yes, some of the activities are there which also depend upon water and air and all. Like air, it came recently, this air services and all. Yes, water also they provide transportation and also some sort of food, fishes and all. But majority of the activities it takes place on land. You talk about agriculture, you talk about houses, road, railway, bridges, industries, and so on. So the more the people, the more the pressure that the land has to, take upon itself. Now, scientists they claim that somewhere between 1/3 to half, one half of our land, the land surface that we have, it has been already modified by the human activities till date, and still it is going on. Last night, I was going through an article where this what do you call? I forgot the name. In Dubai, there is a island, artificial island, okay, man-made island. Now see, that's what the scientists say, that between 1/3 and 1/2 of our land surface has been modified by human activities. Artificial island, what, palm island or something? It's like a kind of a tree, but that's fully man-made, completely man-made. So see, we are modifying the land, not only land, even water also. Land degradation. Land degradation happens when the land is no longer suitable for agriculture. And some important reasons for this include increased population, underline that, increased population and its ever increasing pressure on land, the one which I discussed just now, deforestation, soil erosion, overgrazing of animals, excessive single cropping and expansion of cities and salinization. These are some of the other reasons for which land degradation takes place. Underline the whole thing. Some important reasons for this include increased population, ever increasing pressure on land, deforestation, soil erosion, overgrazing by animals, excessive single cropping and expansion of cities and salinization. Together, all these are responsible for the removal of nutrients from the land and add to this natural disaster such as flood and landslide. Recently, a very big landslide took place somewhere in Himachal Pradesh or somewhere. And what do you call those, especially in the hilly areas, landslide, Arunachal, Nagaland and so on. In the news, I'm talking from the news. The roads gets blocked and all. Why? Because of landslide and all. And who are responsible for it? We say natural disaster, nature. But it is our activity, because of which the natural disasters are taking place so rapidly every now and then. And as a result, what is happening is that the land is getting degraded. There are various, yes, the natural reasons because of which you can term the land getting degraded is that, say, flood, wind erosion, or what is it, landslide, just now, landslide and all. But what about deforestation? What about mining? What about this urban development, in the name of urban development? Yes, when we do urban development, if we are cutting down a tree, at the same time we must also plant at least 10 trees somewhere else, so that it matches us, because it's already a grown up tree, one big huge one and a small plant. But do we do that? Are we doing that? Those are not natural activities. Deforestation, overgrazing of animals, mining, factory and all, these are not, you cannot term them as natural calamity. So as a result, the impact of this land degradation is becoming huge nowadays, and land productivity goes down, leading to land productivity goes down, leading to uncertainty about food. That is another thing. At times you might have come across, maybe you have heard your parents saying, or if you yourself, if you visit, if at times mommy daddy tells you, chalo go to the market and get this, you see sometimes some vegetables which are found, for example, last year I personally had faced this. It was onion or potato, something like that. Even you can feel it, you can connect it, what I'm trying to tell you. There was a time when 1 kg was something, what onion, I think 80, 90, 100 rupees, and which the same onion which we get at times at 15, 20, 10 rupees, even potato also. Why? No production, less production, more demand. No land to produce. Food, cropping, productivity affected. As a result, less product, more people. Price went up high. So it ultimately affected each one of us. We may say, I did not cut down the trees. I did not I did not do any harm to the land. But it's not I, it's we. We all will be affected. So, land productivity goes down, leading to uncertainty about food. It often leads to migration and a general destruction of ecosystem. Now the question is, okay, land degradation, fine. But the question is, instead of focusing on the problem, focus on the solution. Can we control this situation? That is the question. Perhaps we can, to some extent. It is very expensive to reclaim degraded land. Sometimes, severely degraded land might not be reclaimed at all. At times it happens. Now, I'll give you how it can be very expensive. For example, consider that there is a land which is a wasteland, alright? And there is another land which is fertile, two types of land. Now in that fertile land, if you do cultivation, if you do cropping, if you do farming, you'll have to spend less money. How? Because the soil is already fertile. You don't have to go for more fertilizers or kind of irrigation and all, as because the soil already has enough water. A little bit of rain is enough. Now the same cropping, now since shortage of land, right, and there is no other option, you have to do farming in that wasteland, in that barren land as well. Now what happens? You'll have to go for all those chemicals, right? There's fertilizers, pesticide, these, that, various things. At the same time, extra expensive, you have to provide water 24/7 because that's already a wasteland. So see the expense. So that's what the line says, that if you want to reclaim a degraded land, it's very expensive, and at times there are some degraded land which can never be reclaimed. So therefore, what must be done then? Land conservation, right? How? Let's see. Land is important for the survival of humans. It is the habitat for all life and the treasure house of valuable minerals in soil that are important for the economic development of the world. Underline that, as I have already told you. It is the habitat for all life and the treasure house of valuable minerals and soil that are important for the economic development of the world. So, now how to conserve land then? Deforestation, right? I talked about deforestation. Why not do the opposite? Afforestation. Why not make a proper sewage disposal, a drainage system, instead of decomposing all those unwanted materials, waste materials, dumping it in an open area? Or why don't we have a proper process of dumping it in a sea, in a water bodies, which in turn affects the environment? Let's have a plant crop rotation so that we can preserve the soil, because there are some crop which really needs good amount of nutrient. There are also some crop which gives nutrient to the soil. So it's kind of, why don't we have a kind of a cycling, a rotational crop planting system, so that we can preserve the soil. Otherwise, if you keep on excessively taking all the nutrients from the soil with the same crop, that land will become a wasteland. There are some crop which needs, yes, as per their demand, they need good amount of nutrient. So once that is done, plant some another crop which does not require that much nutrient, so that the soil during that time frame they get their natural process of regenerating those nutrients within themselves. Allow grass to grow. Appropriate disposal of hazardous industrial waste, the one which I told you. Proper use of fertilizers and pesticides, and finding ways to protect ecological diversity. Underline this. The ways to conserve land: afforestation, proper sewage disposal, plant crop rotation to preserve soil nutrients, allowing grass to grow, appropriate disposal of hazardous industrial waste, proper use of fertilizers and pesticides, and finding ways to protect ecological diversity. Degraded lands or wasteland can be cultivated for agriculture too, with some direction and financial help from the government. So that's another way to conserve land. Yes, the land got degraded, but there are various technique, methods, and also, as I told you, it will be a little expensive. So if the government hopes in, jumps in and provides some aid, that can also be transformed, degraded land can also be transformed into cultivable land. Another easy step that you can take as an individual is to stop throwing garbage such as soda cans, papers, and other waste like plastic bags, empty wrappers, unused aluminum foil. This is what you as a student can do, at least from your end. You got a chocolate, ate the chocolate, walking, somewhere in the road, in the footpath, the place wherever your chocolate gets over, that packet is dumped there and there. Don't do that. Because a day will come when the whole mankind will be in shortage of land. Okay, so don't do this. Try to save land. And right now, currently, as a student, you can do this. Alright, so today I'll keep up to this much, and the remaining topic I'll discuss in the next class. Yes, coming back to the assignment. Alright, the exercise I'll discuss tomorrow. For today, what will I do is that this from where did I start? Classification of land, changing pattern of land use, the subtopic, land degradation, land conservation. Key points, whatever I have asked you, those question answers which were discussed in between. And yes, some of you have submitted yesterday. I have jotted down your names. I really appreciate that. It's really very good. But some of you, again, there are some who did not submit, and the name is kept in record. Okay, so do it accordingly, so that in the evening when I check your notes, I can also jot down the name, which will also be of your helpful in the future, right? Anyways, enough for the day. See you tomorrow. Study well, everyone. Okay, God bless you.